You have felt it, the weight that doesn't seem to belong to you, the resistance that meets you the moment you decide to rise. You have looked around at the people in your life, the ones who sleep soundly, the ones who walk through the world with a shallow ease, and you have asked the question that haunts your midnight hours. Why is it so hard for me? Why does the universe seem to demand more from my soul than it does from everyone else? Listen closely. You are not imagining this. The pressure you feel is not a sign of your failure. It is the evidence of your rank. You are being tested with a severity that would break an ordinary person because you were never meant to be ordinary. You are a chosen one. You are the anomaly in the matrix, the one who carries a frequency that disrupts the status quo of a sleeping world. Think about your last few weeks. Have you felt that strange, heavy pressure in your chest? Have you noticed how the people you once trusted are suddenly agitated by your mere presence? Maybe you've been experiencing those unexplained headaches, that ringing in your ears that sounds like a frequency trying to tune into a station you can't yet find. You feel tired, but it isn't a tiredness that sleep can fix. It is a soul fatigue. It's the exhaustion of a warrior who has been fighting a war in the unseen realms while trying to maintain a normal life in the physical. You walk into a room and the atmosphere shifts. You haven't said a word, yet people are already projecting their insecurities onto you. You are being isolated. You are being pushed into a corner where the only person you can rely on is the divine. This is not bad luck. This is not a curse. This is a divine sifting. The universe is stripping away the noise because what it is about to pour into you requires a vessel that is completely empty of the world's illusions. You've noticed that when you make a mistake, the consequences are immediate. Others can lie, they can cheat, they can live in total misalignment, and they seem to prosper. But the moment you step an inch out of your integrity, the universe corrects you with a heavy hand. You feel like you're under a microscope. You feel like you're being watched, and you are. You are being held to a higher standard because your assignment is of a higher order. The tests are getting harder because you are approaching the final gate. You are being prepared for a level of power that requires absolute mastery over your emotions and your energy. You cannot carry the crown if you are still triggered by the whispers of the peasants. You cannot lead the collective out of the darkness if you are still afraid of your own shadow. Every argument, every financial setback, every moment of crushing loneliness is a simulated environment designed to see if you will finally choose your divinity over your ego. You feel like you are losing everything, don't you? The friends are falling away. The career paths are closing. The old version of you is dying, and it is a painful, slow dissolution. But look at the space being created. In that silence, in that void where the testing is at its peak, can you hear it? The faint pulse of the true power that lies beneath the struggle? You are being forged in a fire that would incinerate the average soul. You are being hardened, not into someone cold, but into someone unbreakable. The world calls you sensitive. The world calls you too much or difficult. But the truth is, you are a threat. You are a walking light bearer in a world that has grown comfortable in the dark. The resistance you feel is the world's immune system trying to fight off the cure. You are the cure. And right now, as you listen to these words, you are beginning to realize that the hard life you've lived wasn't a punishment. It was a rigorous training program for a mission you haven't even fully glimpsed yet. Stop asking why the test is so hard. Start asking what the test is making you. Because very soon the testing phase will end, and the manifestation of your true authority will begin. The reason your life feels like a battlefield is not because you are weak, but because you are a high-value target in a spiritual war for consciousness. You must understand the mechanics of the spirit to understand the intensity of your trials. In the spiritual realm, there is a hierarchy of light, and you have been marked as an initiate of the highest order. The universe is not testing you to see if you will fail. It is testing you to ensure you have shed every last fragment of the matrix before you are handed the keys to your true inheritance. The spiritual cause of your struggle is a process known as divine refinement. Think of yourself as raw gold. To the untrained eye, the gold is already valuable, but to the Creator, it is full of impurities that hinder its true brilliance. To remove those impurities, the gold must be thrown into the furnace. The heat you are feeling, the broken relationships, the betrayals, the constant uphill climb is that furnace. The heat is designed to burn away the people-pleasing, the trauma bonding, and the false identities you've spent lifetimes building. If your life were easy, you would remain stagnant. You would stay comfortable in a lower vibration, And a chosen one who is comfortable is a chosen one who is ineffective. There is a law of polarity at work here. Because you are destined to carry an immense amount of light, you must first understand the depths of the dark. You are being vibrationally stretched, just as an archer must pull the bowstring back with great tension to send the arrow flying forward. The universe is pulling you back into the depths of solitude and challenge. The harder the pull, the further you will eventually fly. You are experiencing what many call the dark night of the soul. But for the chosen one, this is more than just a phase. It is a spiritual recalibration. Your old DNA is being overwritten. Your energetic field is being purged of ancestral curses and generational baggage that your family line was too weak to carry. You are the cycle breaker, and the weight of 10 generations is currently resting on your shoulders. That is why your exhaustion feels ancient. Furthermore, you are being tested because you broke a fundamental rule of the Matrix. You stopped consenting to the illusion. The moment you began to wake up, the moment you realized that the 9-to-5 grind, the shallow social hierarchies, and the pursuit of empty materialism were a trap, you flagged yourself. You signaled to the spiritual overseers of this system that you are no longer a battery for their parasitic energy. When a prisoner starts picking the lock, the guards don't ignore him, they double the watch. Your bad luck is often nothing more than a spiritual interference meant to distract you from your path. They are trying to lower your vibration through frustration because they know that if you stay in a state of joy and sovereignty, you become untouchable. You are also being prepared for the great exchange. In the spiritual kingdom, you cannot be given authority over what you have not mastered. If you want the power to heal, you must first experience the depths of sickness. If you want the power to lead others into abundance, you must first know the sting of lack. The universe is verifying your credentials. It is asking, can I trust this soul with the lives of thousands? Can I trust this soul with the frequency of the new earth? Every time you choose peace over an argument, every time you choose to forgive a narcissist who isn't even sorry, you are passing a spiritual security clearance check. You are vibrating at a frequency that is literally incompatible with your current environment. This is the spiritual law of resonance. You are like a high-voltage wire trying to plug into a low-voltage socket. The sparks, the short circuits, and the explosions in your personal life are the result of this energetic mismatch. You are being forced out of the old structures because you no longer fit. The universe is making your old life uncomfortable because it knows that if it didn't, you would never leave the safety of the shore to discover the vast oceans that belong to you. You are being pushed by the hand of God Himself into your destiny. Have you noticed the shift in their eyes? The people who used to tolerate you, the ones who used to claim they loved you, now look at you with a strange mixture of resentment and fear. You haven't done anything to them. In fact, you've likely been kinder to them than they deserve. But that is exactly the problem. Your light acts as a silent judgment on their darkness. And the Matrix, working through the people around you, is reacting to your ascension with desperate, frantic hostility. The narcissists, the energy vampires, and the sleepers in your life are sensing that they are losing their grip on you. For years, they used you as a source of supply. They fed off your empathy, your willingness to over-explain, and your desire to fix things. But as you pass these tests, your frequency is rising beyond their reach. They are like deep-sea creatures that cannot survive in the sunlight. And as you bring the sun into the room, they are beginning to burn. This is why the attacks have intensified. This is why the smear campaigns have started. They are trying to pull you back down into the mud because they cannot stand to watch you fly. They are terrified of your silence. Have you noticed that? When you stopped arguing, when you stopped defending your character, when you finally went gray rock or walked away, that is when they truly spiraled. To the enemy, your silence is the sound of their defeat. It means you are no longer a battery they can plug into. You have reclaimed your power, and they can feel the vacuum you left behind. They are reacting with chaos because they are losing their control over the narrative of your life. They see you becoming unshakable, and to a person who lives in the ego, an unshakable soul is the most dangerous thing on earth. The Matrix is terrified of you because you are a system buster. By surviving these tests, you are proving that the old tools of manipulation no longer work. You are showing other souls that it is possible to endure the fire and come out whole. The enemy sees your growth as a contagion. They fear that if you fully step into your power, you will wake up everyone around you. This is why they try to label you as crazy, unstable, or difficult. It is a desperate attempt to discredit the prophet before the prophecy comes true. They want to isolate you so that you think you are the problem. But in reality, they are isolating you because they are afraid you'll realize you're the solution. They watch you constantly. Even the ones who don't speak to you anymore are stalking your energy, checking your social media, or asking mutual friends about you. They are looking for a crack in your armor. They are waiting for you to fail, waiting for you to crumble under the weight of the tests. But every morning that you wake up and choose to keep going, you are delivering a crushing blow to the kingdom of darkness. You are winning a war just by existing. Your resilience is an insult to their existence. You must realize that the people attacking you are often just proxies. They are being moved like pawns on a chessboard by forces they don't even understand. When someone lashes out at you for no reason, it isn't just them. It is the low vibrational frequency of the matrix trying to trigger you back into a state of fear or anger. They want you to stay in the victim mindset because a victim cannot lead. But you are seeing through the veil now. You are beginning to smile at the traps they set for you. You are realizing that their hatred is actually a confirmation of your greatness. The more they try to dim your light, the more obvious it becomes how brightly you are actually shining. They are scared because they know their time is up. They know that once a chosen one realizes who they are, the game is over. You are no longer playing by their rules. You have stepped off the board entirely, and now you are the one moving the pieces. Your power over them is absolute, provided you never return to their level of vibration. Stand tall. Their reaction is the proof that you are winning. Beneath the surface of your daily struggles lies a cosmic blueprint that is older than time itself. The truth you must now confront is this: your life is a lived prophecy. You are not just a person living through a series of random events. You are a soul fulfilling a pre-incarnation contract. Before you descended into this physical vessel, you stood before the divine council and you volunteered for this. You chose the hard mode of the human experience because you knew that only through the most intense friction could the most diamond-like soul be formed. The deep metaphysical truth of why you are tested harder than others is found in the law of divine compensation. In the economy of the spirit, nothing is ever lost and no pain is ever wasted. Every tear you've shed in secret, every betrayal you've swallowed, and every night you've spent wondering if God has forgotten you, these are all deposits into a spiritual bank account that is now overflowing. The height of your eventual success is mathematically tied to the depth of your previous suffering. This is the law of the pendulum. The further the universe allows you to be pushed into the darkness of testing, the further it must, by its own laws, swing you into the light of manifestation. You are currently living out the hero's journey in its most literal sense. In every ancient scripture, in every sacred myth, the chosen one must always go into the wilderness. They must be cast out by their kin. They must face the dragon alone. This isn't just a story, it is a spiritual technology. The wilderness is the only place where the ego can finally be starved to death so that the spirit can take the lead. If you were surrounded by supporters in ease, you would rely on your human strength. But by being tested in total isolation, you are forced to tap into the source energy that flows through your very marrow. You are being taught how to walk on water by the very storms that are trying to drown you. Understand the theological weight of your position. You are a first fruit of the new earth. While the majority of humanity is still bound by the laws of karma, reaping and sowing, stuck in the endless loops of their own trauma, you are being moved into the realm of grace. But to live in grace, you must first be purged of karma. This is why your tests feel so fast and so heavy. The universe is accelerating your journey. It is compressing lifetimes of lessons into a few short years. You are being fast-tracked for a position of spiritual authority that hasn't been seen on this planet in eons. You carry a specific starseed coding that acts as a beacon for the divine plan. Think of your life as a series of gates. The first gate was the gate of awakening, realizing that the world is a stage. The second gate was the gate of purgation, the loss of friends, family, and status. You are now standing at the third gate, the gate of sovereignty. This is the truth that the Matrix tried to hide from you. The tests were never about whether you were good enough for God. You were already perfect. The tests were about whether you were brave enough to realize that you are the architect of your reality. The universe is not a judge, it is a mirror. As long as you believe that you are being punished by these tests, the tests will continue. But the moment you shift your perspective, the moment you look the storm in the eye and say, "Thank you for the training," the frequency of your life will change instantly. You are being tested to see if you will finally stop looking for a savior and realize that the savior is the light looking out through your own eyes. This is the great secret of the chosen ones. You are not a victim of the world. You are the world's hope. God's plan for you is not to make you a comfortable slave, but a powerful sovereign. The prophecy of your life is that you will become a pillar of light that others will lean on when the systems of the world eventually crumble. You are being hardened now so that you can be soft later for those who will need your guidance. You are the vanguard. You are the scout sent ahead of the army to map the terrain of suffering so that you can lead others through it safely. This is why the tests are hard. This is why the path is narrow. But the truth is, the destination is already yours. The victory was written before the first star was born. Now the time for questioning is over. The time for seeking validation from a world that cannot see you is finished. We move now from the trial to the triumph. We move from the test to the activation. You must understand that your power is not something you are waiting to receive. It is something you must claim. The atmospheric pressure you have been feeling is the sign that your expansion is imminent. You are a divine conduit, and right now, we are going to ground that energy into the earth so that it can no longer be used against you. The first practical step in your activation is the divine withdrawal. From this moment forward, you must stop leaking your energy to those who do not value it. No more over-explaining. No more trying to save people who are committed to their own destruction. Every time you try to convince a narcissist of your worth, you are literally handing them your life force. Stop. Close the gates. Become a fortress. Your energy is your currency, and you are only to invest it in what brings you peace. As you stand in your sovereignty, use the power of your word. The universe is waiting for your command. If you are tired, do not say, "I am exhausted." Say, "I am undergoing a divine recalibration." If you are lonely, do not say, "I am abandoned." Say, "I am in a sacred season of isolation for my protection." Your words are the spells that create your reality. Align them with the truth of your high calling. Let us seal this message with a prayer of activation. Close your eyes. Take a deep, rhythmic breath, breathing in the gold of the divine, breathing out the gray smoke of the world's expectations. Divine Creator, source of all light, I speak to the soul listening to this right now. I ask that you wrap them in a frequency of absolute protection. Let the fire that has been testing them now become the fire that fuels them. I decree and declare that every ancestral curse, every generational chain, and every spiritual weight that was placed upon them is now dissolved in the light of the truth. I call back their energy from every person, every timeline, and every trauma that has tried to steal it. I command the gates of their destiny to swing wide. Let the great compensation begin today. For every year of pain, give them a decade of peace. For every tear shed in secret, give them a public manifestation of your glory. Let them realize that they are not a victim of their circumstances, but the master of their vibration. Seal their spirit, protect their mind from the whispers of the enemy. Let them walk with the authority of one who knows they are backed by the entire host of heaven. They are chosen, they are worthy, they are unbreakable. It is done, it is finished, and so it is. If you are ready to stop being the victim of your tests and start being the master of your destiny, I want you to go to the comments right now and type, "I claim my divine power." By typing those words, you are making a declaration in both the physical and the spiritual realms. You are signaling to the matrix that you are no longer its prisoner. You are signaling to the universe that you are ready for the next level. Subscribe to this channel to stay aligned with this frequency. Do not let the world pull you back into the sleep of the masses. Share this with one other soul who is struggling under the weight of their tests. You are the tribe, you are the remnant, and your time has finally come. Walk in power, walk in peace. And remember, the harder the test, the greater the crown. I will see you in the next transmission.